That was Chief Crow, Mask of the Beast. You definitely got to check out the... What's good? What's up, man? It might be. Who's asking? All right. What's good? What have you thought about flat Earth? Have you ever crossed your mind that outer space is fake? Yeah. What do your peers think about the idea?
You don't believe me. You ever think me crazy when I was talking about aliens a year ago? Now they're kissing my feet.
Yeah, right on there. Yeah. What do you think about what's going on right now?
It's all planned.
Yeah.
It's a strategic, like, really planned. Like, to the T.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some NASA documents. I also got a couple of flyers here, you know, if you want to check it out later. Some, you know, people who are into flat Earth and...
You got a website or something?
Yeah, I do. It's Authentic Intent on YouTube's. You can come through and check it out.
Is it on here?
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty interesting. So you seem pretty woke, you know, up to speed a little bit. What do you think about what's going on today with George Floyd and everything? The trial.
Just to take people's attention away from the bigger picture.
Yeah. Do you think he'll be charged, Joven?
Probably. Who knows?
Do you think they can in all reality charge him with anything? Because then the police would say, well, what are we supposed to do then? It seems like you're, you know, relieving us of our authority and ability to restrain to our, you know, the situation at hand. Every situation's different. So, you know, that's something that they could bring up, right? Yeah. So why would they charge him?
True.
So, I don't know. Something to think about.
I'm going to check out your YouTube channel, though.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Enjoy your ride. All right, here we are. Let's see if we got tightrope walkers. Who's really walking the tightrope here, huh?
I've heard of it. I'm trying to remember.
So they do bring up the vaccine talk a lot in the show. The Good Doctor comes up a couple of times, and of course the doctors in the show, there's one character, she's a female, and she gets really uppity about a couple that shows up and hasn't vaccinated their child and is dealing with some certain things. And so as the story progresses, you know, the husband in the family doesn't want to vaccinate the child, and allegedly the vaccine can help the situation, but maybe even it was just to update the child with their current vaccines, and he was adamantly against it. So was she, you know. But as the story ended, he comes to find out that his wife vaccinated their child behind his back. And so,
well, yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't be excited.
You know, for me, like, my perception of it is the show showed the undermining of the woman to vaccinate the child without the husband's consent. And if these two were in the same boat together, they were just, you know, paddling along with their child, and all of a sudden, basically, the wife, you know, takes the husband out of the boat and leaves the child in there and just says, hey, you know what? It's my child. I birthed it. I get to decide what I do to the child's body. And I think the boy was something like 10, 12, 13 years old or something like that. I think they showed like indifference from the child's perspective about vaccines. You know, this TV show, The Good Doctor, it's on right now. So every week there's new episodes. And the 4th season, they transitioned into COVID and mask wearing and COVID vaccine talk and everything. Out of the 12 episodes that I've watched recently, I would say like 3 or 4 of them really get invested into the COVID vaccine mask talk. Otherwise, they try to stick with, you know, some other storyline developments. but as I watch it, I feel uncomfortable because I don't want to see that type of population where we're just overrun with a bunch of people who you can't connect with and you can't build an emotional attachment with. You know, he has a love interest in this show, and like me, I'm brutally honest, but I am not vaccine damaged. And so, because of his, situation, he's very, honest and brutally honest at times, where it's like socially awkward honest. It's like, wow, like, even maybe personal stuff that he does, or, whatever. And so he has this, female friend that he's been interested in. And at one point, they break up or they kind of end their, she's just kind of like, they're friends, and then he wants to start a relationship with her. And she says, I can't have a relationship with you because you have autism. And I've had that story happen to me. Girl couldn't date me. We were together for a couple months, and then she finally told me she can't date me because you have CF. So that's pretty devastating to have happen to you. I think it's different with the vax. You're choosing to get vaccinated. I didn't choose to be born with CF and have the lifestyle I had growing up, where I had to go into foster care for half my life and live most of my childhood in the hospital. And people think like I have this negative energy or whatever towards nurses, and I don't. Nurses were like my second mom when I was growing up. I was in the hospital that much. I got to know my nurses. I was probably in the hospital a couple times a year, all the way up until I was 13 or 14 years old when I got into foster care permanently. So I watch these doctor dramas, hospital dramas, because I want to see like where they're taking. It's like no wonder why people believe what's going on. I mean, watch The Good Doctor, for crying out loud. Hey, kiddo. It's like no wonder why people are walking around with masks on. Every time something serious is happening in the show, like the music starts and it gets all dramatic, and your heart starts racing along with the scene. Oh, heart palpitations, cold blue. And then it fades away and goes to the next scene or something like that. It goes commercial. It's like, it's like you're always like on edge, like watching these shows. And of course, I try to watch the shows to see if they talk about cystic fibrosis. And none of the episodes have yet. I dare you to bring somebody with CF and COVID into the hospital and have them test negative 3 times. Of course, mainstream TV wouldn't do that. Oh man, this place is unreal. And so they break up, and then they get back together, and now they're dating currently, and they're living together, not married. And he talks about, wanting to cohabitate, if you will, a lot on the show, towards, when they start having a relationship. Some of the things, like, it's on mainstream TV, one of the alphabet channels. And they talk a lot about, they bring up racism a lot. They bring up, racist towards Muslims and 9/11, moon landing, science. I want to be an astronaut. So all of your, typical programming. Wear that mask again. So I watch a lot of that, that type of TV show to try to get, get a good bead on what's going on with the public. And, now I'm starting to see, more and more, of course, these people are terrified and believe everything government says. And they praise nurses. I appreciate nurses so much. I really do. But they're not heroes. They're just doing their job. They're getting a paycheck, okay? So if they were doing it for free and they just got donations and they're like, hey, I work at such and such hospital 10 hours a day for free, unless you send me donations, I'm just going to do it because I love being a nurse, then I would think differently about it. But I don't. I really appreciate all the help that the nurses, gave. I know a lot of the names. They were like a mom to me, literally like a mom. Total opposite of what I had growing up. It was either me, I take care of myself, or I die. No one was going to help me. Other than the nurses and the doctors, and it was almost a blessing for me to go to the hospital, I guess, all the time. Even though it sucks, I didn't have any friends because I was in the hospital. Who wants to be friends with a kid that's sick all the time? It's not like you have a car when you can't drive a Power Wheels to the hospital. Hang out with your friends. So, I have a lot of respect for nurses. I care about them, I appreciate what they do, but it's a job to them. If they weren't getting paid $40 an hour to do what they're doing, they would find another job, okay? They would find something else to do to make a living. I know, right? Maybe because I get kicked off social media because they don't like my words. That's why I'm out here. Training to be in a marathon right now in the minds of the masses. And so I think about, the relationship that I had with nurses, and not like it's not like I have a right where I'm black and the other guy's black and we can call each other niggers or anything like that, but I do know nurses, and when I go to the hospital, they know who I am. And I have a certain relationship with them, and I have a certain relationship with them now about COVID. And I'm not gonna sit here and, throw a parade and go around banging pans because, in the TV show, The Good Doctor, they cheer and clap when somebody in the new season with the COVID stuff, they actually cheer and clap and present these people off when they, quote, survive COVID. So even the TV show is showing predictive programming. Oh yeah, if somebody is, survives COVID, we gotta, put a parade on for them. Here's the TV show to show you how to act every time this or that happens. The more and more you think about TV, that's all it is propaganda. A teaching tool on how to act in society. It was really great that Braylon, that's what his name was, showed up yesterday when he shared with that couple the Smith-Mundt Act, the Modernization Act of Propaganda. Because I was actually thinking about bringing some periodicals regarding Smith-Mundt Act and the propaganda and just offering that up here at the table so people can take away some information if they want. I also have flash drives still too, but people really were receptive to the CD thing, but like a flash drive, I guess I could tell them that I should put them in a little pile here and say that they're free because nobody grabbed them before. Plus, I wonder if people are more leery of flash drives because they could have a COVID-19 on them. COVID-19. that girl over there at the picnic table reminded me of another thing that I wanted to mention about TV nowadays. Every single TV show, I'm not kidding you, every single one, show me a show that doesn't do it, has a character that says Jesus or GD in a negative connotation. Every single time. On multiple occasions. It's no wonder why everybody out in public, copies and says bad things about their creator. Not sure why you do that. It's not like they would say that about their dad. Why don't they get mad and say that about their mom? And in these TV shows, you never hear them say, Krishna. So, I get why some people don't want to watch TV. It can become really overwhelming. Every TV show, every movie, always swearing, bringing up Jesus' name. It's so funny to see dogs carrying around big logs around the lake. It's like, yep, this is my log I picked up. I found it. And music is mostly for the black culture that, they have to degrade each other and call each other names. I'm sure Hispanic culture has theirs. I mean, white people are just really demeaning towards each other. They're really, negative towards each other. A lot of homosexual talk with whites when it comes to all that. Derogatory terms. Put a smile on her face. That's all we're looking for, I guess. Laughter is the best medicine. Thanks a lot, everybody, for hanging out for a little bit here. Still got a couple more hours, most likely. This is live, so you can't keep chomping at the gums all the time. Just gotta chill out for a minute and just kick back and watch. So I get it if you got something going on. I will, re-upload these streams. Cut out all the dead air time, so it's more smoother run when I premiere it. And make sure to subscribe to my other YouTube's channels, Sebastian52 Durden, all one word. One more informative clip on why I changed the name to Sebastian Durden. Sebastian is the narrator on Fight Club, played by Edward Norton. And Tyler Durden is Brad Pitt's character, so his last name is Durden. Brad Pitt's character, Tyler Durden, in 2009 was voted by Hollywood, or some mainstream Hollywood outlet, that Tyler Durden was the greatest movie character of all time. It's a fun little fact for you. So I figured to change the YouTube. I still have Authentic Intent archive number 52. I started uploading my videos from previously. The reason for the 52 is because my birth month is 5 for May 2nd, which is coming up here soon. And if you'd like to help donate towards a birthday offering, I'm trying to get a 360 VR camera. Hi there. Say, how come you're wearing a Black Lives Matter hat? You're white. They do. So do white people. So do Hispanics and Asians. Just, people in general, 10 fingers, 10 toes. Irritable bowel syndrome sometimes. This guy's gonna rob a bank. Yeah, in Red Dead Redemption 2, when you go into a store with a mask on, they always tell you to take your mask off because it's a little unusual to wear a mask in a bank. How we doing?
Pretty good.
Right on.
Have a good day, man.
You too. Hi there.
Great.
Thanks a lot, man.
Good.
Just keeping it real.
Yep.
So I do a PayPal pool I put together here. If you want to, So I do a PayPal pool. I need to remember to turn that down. For anybody who is interested in donating to that. It's going till the end of the month. On May 1st, and then hopefully like May 30th or May 1st I can order it, and then it should be here by my birthdays, and that would be just wonderful. I think it'll be a new experience. Not sure I'll use it every time, maybe for a special stream, or I definitely want to try it out a couple times and get the kinks out of it and find out how long it takes to edit and what it needs. Because there are some that only record for like 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes and then it stops. So the 2 that I'm looking for, which I gave information on, are about $400, $500, plus you need to get all the accessories. And so I have a 256 gigabyte memory card for it that's just waiting to be used. Other than that, I know I need a special tripod for it. But I think it'll be really cool. I think it'll be really added a really great experience. I wanted one last year, but things just didn't really pan out. You just gotta wait for things, and things just don't work out. You don't gotta force things to work. Just wait it out. Let things, develop. It's okay to just, not have things right now. Wait it out. Maybe don't move in together. They've normalized moving in together on TV so much that if you're not living with somebody that you're not married to, you're the alien. Something wrong with you. So, pretty much, if you want to do the right thing, just go the opposite of the world. Pretty much do the opposite. Primal Fear. That one lady had a good talk. She was pretty hip. We learn by imitation. Can't imitate, can't stand watching the crud. Yep. Seems it's pretty messed up. It is pretty messed up. No, I don't have a channel anymore. I have a backup channel, Authentic Intent Archive, number 52, number sign, hashtag sign, pound. number 52, and you should be able to find it, maybe not, because they don't like my kind around here, these parts on social media, but that's all right. I have a New York Times article, just going to read a couple paragraphs of it. This was out a couple months ago, and they were trying to address, so you think you can throw your mask away even though you're vaccinated? Plan to ditch the mask after vaccination? Well, not so fast. It's not clear how easily vaccinated people may spread the virus, but the answer to that question is coming soon. Until then, scientists urge caution. With 50 million Americans at least partly immunized against the coronavirus, and millions more joining the ranks every day, the urgent question of many minds is, when can I throw away my mask? Well, it's a deeper question than it seems, about a return to normalcy. About how soon vaccinated Americans can hug loved ones, maybe get together with some friends and go to concerts, shopping malls, restaurants, without feeling threatened by COVID. Certainly many states' officials are already on board. Tuesday, Texas lifted its mask mandate along with all the other restrictions on businesses, and with all restriction, Mississippi quickly followed suit. Governors in both states cited declining infection rates and rising number of citizens getting vaccinated. But the pandemic is not yet over, and scientists are still counseling patients. It seems clear that the small groups of vaccinated people can get together without much worry about infecting others. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is expected shortly to issue new guidelines that will touch on small gatherings of vaccinated Americans. Those aren't Americans if you're vaccinated, just a heads up. You can't call yourself an American if you're vaccinated by the COVID vaccine. Just my opinion. I was reading that sideways because if I tilt the camera, then your image will be sideways, so it's not going to work out. I'm trying to read this sideways. So that's the thing, is like I saw a lot of people, encouraged by the mask mandates and how everybody is taking the mask off and everything. Well, that's because everybody's getting vaccinated. So how are you going to be able to... Hi there. How you doing?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot.
What's turn off your television all about?
Well, there's a lot of information on there that I don't particularly agree with. And with the Smith-Mundt Act from 2012, Obama amended the propagation of media. And so the news media is not obligated to tell you the truth or even a semblance of the truth. It's up to you to investigate it. And so not a lot of people are aware of that our own government can propagandize on its own people information that isn't necessarily entirely true.
The Earth is flat, though,
I know it's flat. Yeah. Yeah, so belief and knowing are two different things. Is that something that we can agree with? Right? Yeah. So what do you think about that? What do you think about the Earth being flat, non-rotating?
I think it's circle. There's a dot with like a little pen. That's how much we actually know. So neither of us could be right.
Sure. Okay. So is that your argument to say that I'm wrong and you're wrong,
No
type of
argument
thing?
here.
Okay.
In fact,
Agreeing
I'm
to
in the
disagree.
middle.
Oh, you're in the middle.
I'm in the middle. I think the Earth is in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's totally illogical and impossible for me to know the Earth is flat.
No, no one ever mentioned illogical, impossible,
Okay.
or knowledge.
All right,
What I
well-
said was, as humans, we're very limited in our knowledge and our scope of knowledge, which makes no argument. Really
Okay.
nowhere to go from there except to create what we can physically,
Yeah.
and what you can measure and see is real.
Okay. Yeah. So what you can measure and see.
Yes.
So was there ever a time that you believed you lived there on this globe Earth?
Again, belief, right? I don't, again, believe. I know we don't know enough.
I could dig into this further and say we live in a simulation.
Yeah, sure. But where's that simulation at? On a flat or ball Earth?
I think it's kind of irrelevant if it's a simulation.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of relevant because if you're a programmer, right, for a video game, and you're going to create the foundation of which your characters walk, isn't that important to know?
No. Because now you're
No?
speaking of binary
No?
and coding
Really?
type physics, which have nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
Well, they have a lot to do with the shape of the Earth because we, humans, if I were to, I would make a video game that's familiar and that has familiar things to really immerse the user
But this here is
into the
familiar,
environment.
am I right?
It is.
So what he's saying is this familiarity is the simulation, which has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
It does have a different, yeah, it does. Because what is the simulation on? A ball Earth or flat Earth?
Does it matter?
It
Again,
does matter.
How so?
Because you need to
I feel
know,
like you're still
it's
not
important to know where you come from and the foundations of your history.
If the Earth is flat, then
Why?
why is there slopes?
Because those are natural terrain phenomena. The Earth is flat because water lays level and flat when contained and at rest.
So you think that Newton's law of physics is wrong, and that
What is Newton's law of physics? And Einstein's, and differentiate between the two if you could, please.
that's a theory of relativity?
Oh, you meant like
No, theory, Einstein also has a theory of gravity
E equals
too.
MC squared, yeah, like
So,
how the Earth
what
is
is Newton's and Einstein's differentiate? How do they differentiate? Maybe you can.
the energy equals mass.
I'm talking to him if you don't mind. He brought it up. So,
I'm 10 years
You're a
old.
very aggressive and opinionated person.
well,
And
I mean,
would-
this is a very serious topic, and
He's not aggressive. He's just trying to get. His
I mean,
point.
you seem very
Sorry.
staunch on your position, and I
don't
am
have a
too.
I'm in the middle.
There
Well,
is
you
no
think it's a
position.
simulation, right?
No, I'm posing
You-
I'm posing a theory.
Yeah.
I'm not posing a fact.
Well, you
Okay.
don't
Nobody.
do that.
Okay.
So, what is your simulation on? This is the third time I've asked it, and you haven't answered it. What is your simulation on? Flat or ball Earth? The sarcasm is strong with this one. Well, not so much.
Let's start with saying I don't believe anything that is told to me.
Okay.
Okay, that includes we live on a globe. That includes we live on a flat Earth. That includes we live in a simulation. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Does outer space
What
exist
matters
in
are
your?
the actions that you take to change your environment around you. That's what matters.
Okay.
So the fact that you're pushing this idea that people need to change a global ideal of what the Earth is shaped like, rather than the race issues and the femininity issues that we have today.
Of
and
men, the femininity
imbalance-
of men.
No, just in general.
Maybe the femininity.
There is a extreme uncomfortableness that people have with femininity, and also with women in general, and I think it's fucked up.
But I think we changed topics really
Sure.
fast.
Yeah,
Well,
we did.
not really,
Because
because
this is
that
kind of
all
an irrelevant
that all
topic to
comes
what's
together
actually
with flat Earth. Because everybody, all of those narratives that you brought up, people believe they live on a globe Earth. People believe that those are all happening on the wrong quote simulation experience. And if you believe that you live here and you don't, then you'll believe anything like wearing a mask and getting a vaccine. So, and if you were with the world, most people live with their, you want to talk about femininity and stuff, most men live with their woman before they're married, when a man would move in with her when they're married and not live with them.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, I mean, it has a lot to do with everything, because it has a lot to do with structure and how things are formed here. And how there's
Well, we're on a mission for keys. I hope you
Cool,
figure
man.
out your flat Earth life.
hope you figure out your femininity.
Listen, I'm not living arguments. What I was trying to state to you is that as human beings, we responsibility to realize we don't know it all.
We do know enough to know that the Earth is flat,
And
young
be
lady.
open.
So
To understanding.
you're not open. Doesn't sound like you're open.
Why did you say that?
Because I'm trying to offer you a different realm of existence, and you're trying to be in the middle because you have no backbone, and you can't pick A or B, yes or no. You're wishy-washy. You're double-minded.
No one's gonna talk
You seem to be
you.
confused.
Nope. So human
I don't want to
beings
talk to you. I
wanna
can talk
be-
to plenty of people
Yes.
yesterday, like I was here for 5
and I'm
hours.
sure
Talked to
several them
plenty of people.
alluded and
Nobody did.
disagreed with
No.
what you were
Some people did, and they had a different way of approaching the issue at
Right,
hand.
and that's okay.
And I
You
have
should
a
understand that.
different way of approaching people that
And I
disagree
do
with
too,
me,
and all humans do.
and
so.
I am approaching it differently with you as I would with other people. And
Okay, good.
don't feel butthurt about it,
I don't.
because it's just a different way of
luck
thinking. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yes, human beings.
Yeah, have fun with that, guy. Must be real fun to live in the household with that. Fun with your femininity. Your femininity. Unreal. Some guy bringing up femininity. I want to get in touch with my feminine side. Like wearing a dress like all of the other Hollywood stars who are men. Like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle said he'd never wear a dress. Guess what he did? He wore a dress. Chris Rock said he'd never wear a dress. Guess what he did? He wore a dress. So you want to talk about the race issue? Why don't you talk about all the blacks who are celebrities who are cucks and go along with the establishment? How we doing?
Doing well.
Terrific.
What's this for?
Just sharing like some alternative perspectives.
Okay.
Has it ever crossed your mind that outer space doesn't exist and it's not real?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Right on. What about flat Earth? What do you think about the idea of the Earth being flat and not spinning?
You know, I think it spins, but it might spin flat. I think it's like a coin kind of in space.
Oh, so you don't believe in space, but you believe it's in space, but a penny.
Well, I don't believe that there's like other stars there. There is space.
Yeah, there's space between me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like outer space where you can float like Sandra Bullock and that doctor from E.R. on gravity?
Yep.
Space?
I just don't think there's like stars or anything.
Yeah, how have you verified that?
I just think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, why would you think that and waste your energy on things that aren't real, like Santa Claus and his elves and
I
stuff
don't
like that?
really waste energy on it. That's just like how it makes sense.
But it's not real though, so like you leave like kid things in the past and on the shelf, right? And then you become a man and you stop believing in outer space and the Earth floating like a penny in outer space.
Well, like, what's the difference?
Well, you're believing in childhood imagination created by government and education.
Yeah.
And reality is water lays level and flat when contained like the lake over there.
Yep.
And so when it's at rest, you can see the sky like a mirror, right?
Yes.
Okay? And so just, use your mind because we can use things that are tangible, right? We can see the lake. Now, water laying level and flat like the oceans,
Yeah.
not a ball, right?
Right.
And then it goes on infinitely forever.
Forever.
Yeah, so there's no edge, there's no getting on the underside.
So it's just that plane essentially.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just, there's more. All right, work on that femininity there, guys. I'm afraid of his. I'm a little afraid of his, actually. So, yeah, spoken like a true woman that wears the pants in the family.
Call you bigot.
So, there's hills, mountains, valleys, so we see things too far.
Too far from curvature.
No, we see things too far away. So if there were curvature, like for example, if you were to believe in the globe, there has to be curvature, right? To create a geometric shape like a sphere, you need a curvature drop eventually, right?
Right.
So
I mean,
where is it? Where is the curvature? If it were.
it's like a few miles away.
How many miles?
Probably 20. I mean, if you think about the
So you
world
think
being
that you can't see things 20 miles away from the ground?
Probably.
Really?
Certainly, like, if the Earth were a globe, hypothetically, right?
Yeah. How far can you see? How far do you think you can see with your eyes, for example? Let's start there.
How many Lake Calhoun?
Yeah. How many miles are? Because Lake Calhoun from here to the other side, you know, I don't know, it's like a mile maybe,
Yeah.
less than that. But you know, so the human eye can see about 3 to 5 miles on a good clear day. And the horizon is always alleged because particularly over a body of water, the water is being warmed up by the sun, and the water evaporates, and then it creates a mirroring effect. So you're not going to be able to see, for example, 20 miles with your naked eye. But what you can do is you can get a high-powered zoom lens, like a P1000 or something, and then zoom into that horizon, and then you can draw things back into focus. And depending upon the time of day, you know, that's important because you want to do it earlier in the day, like at 7 or 8 in the morning, because the sun hasn't had an opportunity to warm up the water. Because at
So,
the end,
okay, if I want to like say that I was like high enough, then could I like look at China? Like, which direction would that be?
well, how would you be looking at it? What would you be looking?
Through a high-powered telescope.
So you would just be floating on a parachute or a balloon, like a hot air balloon, like on The Wizard of Oz?
I mean, like I could be on top of a mountain. Let's
Okay,
say, hypothetically, I'm very high.
sure, yeah. So there's still atmospheric distortion.
There is. Okay.
Yeah. So you have your phone on you?
No, not right now.
Weather app on your phone though?
I do at home. Yes.
Yeah. So look at, you know, how far away they say you can see.
Okay.
How far do you think they'll tell you can see?
No idea.
Probably like 10 miles.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything beyond that, you know, can get hard because there's dust, pollution, again, water vapor, and so on. You know, as those things compound onto each other, yes, the higher you get, the further you can see. But if you want to see China from, you know, Alaska or something like that, yeah, sure, you might have to be pretty high.
Okay. But,
You know, but but you're still not going to see curvature of the Earth.
yep. But
So,
the question I have is, when you look at maps, they're generally mapped to like how a globe is like that.
sure.
So what would you say is a more accurate system?
Well, do you know, you're familiar with magnetic declination?
That's pretty low.
That's an empty plane, because we're in a pandemic right now. That's an empty plane. So magnetic declination is kind of like there's the North Pole, and then there's kind of like a magnetic pole over here. So you kind of have to give a few degrees of variance and you have to continually check your equipment as you're moving and using your compass and your navigational device. Most of the modern stuff will kind of do it for you, but when you comprehend the two different magnetic things that draw a compass, you can see that the maps would make more sense one way or another.
Look at how low the clouds or the planes are now because the big cloud behind them. I feel like they're going lower.
And so there, I don't know everything about that type of, information. There's some people on Flat Earth that are better informed than I am. But there are a lot of explanations to a lot of the things globe earthers or people who think the Earth is a globe. It could answer. I mean, there's a lot of answers to a lot of a person's questions with that. And so with your idea of outer space, how is it that you can have two pressure systems next to each other without a solid barrier? Okay, so what's your favorite beverage? Yeah, look at all their stuff. Just regular water? Alright. So without a glass, well, let's say that you put water in the glass, and then you take the glass away. Is the water gonna form the glass shape without the glass there? Yeah, the surface tension, right? Yeah, so that's the viscosity of the water and the plastic or the material that the water droplet's on.
Yeah.
So that could be created with any type of water, liquid, surface. Yeah, that doesn't prove the Earth is a ball. Because with a lot more of that liquid, it lays level and flat at the surface when it's contained and at rest. So multiply that by the oceans, you still don't get curvature because ocean water lays level and flat when contained. So your idea about space, for example, it's at like 14 to the negative torr. Okay, so it's a high pressure vacuum allegedly. We can't create a 100% vacuum here with the materials that we have and enclose it or anything. They've tried. I mean, I haven't made one. I can only take what somebody, says and think that it may be plausible. Okay, but you can't simulate an environment that you can't go to begin with. Or you can't simulate an environment that you think is up there and then create material to then pass through it and then land it on Mars and then say that you're flying a helicopter with less atmosphere than here on Earth. How have you tested that on Earth to then say, oh yeah, we can duplicate that same thing here and then test it on Mars and it's the same thing? They've never been to Mars because you can't penetrate through the firmament, the ceiling that we have above us. So it's a container. We're contained in a pressurized system, which is why we have 14.6 psi on the ground level.
So the way that pressure actually works, as well as a vacuum, is that there's actually no sucking force. It's just a pushing force.
Yeah, it's an equilibrium.
An empty container, nothing within it. It's the pressure of air that's pushing in on it.
Yeah, and the density.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So have you ever tested what you were claiming to be?
yes.
Okay.
Very easy.
Okay. How do you test that in such a grand scale as large as the Earth?
I mean, it's a principle.
Oh, okay. So you can't demonstrate it on such a massive level as the Earth. You can only do little things.
Actually, so one
I'm having a wonderful day.
sure.
Yeah.
It seems like you're pretty angry. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm on another, spectrum here. Yeah. I had a YouTube channel that I had last year deleted.
Charter spectrum, like the internet provider, is that what you're using?
You know that we see things in light, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's kind of what I was thinking about. I see things differently than you do, than a lot of people do.
Okay.
And so I'm a little bit more passionate about waking people up and the irritants, it's kind of building up, a little bit. Because everybody's so passive and has no backbone. Yeah.
Have you ever played Minecraft? Because the Earth is flat in that.
Yeah, it is. Is that the best you got?
Got him.
Got me! There he goes! Woo! Look at him go.
Look at him go.
Look at him go on that bike. Did your mom pick that helmet up for you? All right. Denny, what's up?
See what I mean? It's just like, got him. Victory.
Is that what he really thought that was it, huh?
Just a Minecraft loser.
He just won the slam dunk time contest with that.
You play video games? You play Minecraft?
Yeah, some people were just up here earlier, and I said, oh yeah, that guy that he's effeminate, he loves being a feminist. And he said, well, I think the Earth is a simulation. And I'm like, well, what is your simulation on? A flat Earth or a globe Earth? And he's like, does it matter? It doesn't matter. I just think it's a simulation. I'm like, if you're a programmer and you're going to make a video game, it depends very much on the measurements and what you're walking on.
He knows it would be a flat.
Yeah, he knows. That's what Minecraft is.
Yeah.
And so he didn't get me. I knew it's flat. So he just
Every
proved
video
his
game
point.
is flat.
Every video game is flat. GTA, Red Dead Redemption, every video game is flat. Even the ones that are space, the whole environment is flat.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go out, when you land on your quote planet, the environment that you're walking on is flat.
Get truth through video games sometimes.
Yeah, you do. Oh, a lot of times. Oh, there you go. All right, what did you at?
Windy.
Yeah, I said somebody left the convertible door open. This guy already believes that this realm is flat. I know, right? He's
He's a little on the spectrum himself.
Yeah, they had rollerblades. 9 of my rollerblading buddies. Yeah, that feminist guy was fun. I wish when I premiere this on YouTube, it'll be better because then we can see the chat more. The chat on DLive only stays around for like 10 minutes and then it like cycles through. I mean, I guess I could try to figure out how to like play it on the screen so it continues, so we just save the chat on the screen, but it's kind of clunky, and it turns out
It's not the best chat software.
no, it's not very good chat. DLive. Critical Inception, GTA is flat until you fly 5,000 feet and then they add curve to it. Yeah, I have that. I just got that. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 right now, but yeah, I got Grand Theft Auto 5. So I'll have to check that out. Is the screen blurry right now? Because I exited out and I'm going to play some music. Alright, yeah, it's gonna be blurry through the music. Something to listen to. Thought I had some music here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna play this. I haven't played this in a while. There might be a video out there because a flat earther might have found it and shared it. Why couldn't the Earth be flat?
Well, if you take off west